Welcome to the best of British motorsport, once again coming to you from the delightful circuit of Alton Park. We're deep in the heart of the Cheshire countryside, around 40 miles to the southwest of Manchester. There's a slightly different look about the programme today because we're going to feature two-wheeled racing from across the Irish Sea. Of the British Racing Drivers Club GT Championship, with the Italian Di Tommaso taking on the classic British Marcus LM600 for overall honours. But we start, though, with the TBR Tuscan Challenge. Now, this is a fast twisting circuit, ideally suited to the powerful TBRs, so some good racing in prospect. To see what we get, let's join our race commentators Neville Hay and David Addison.
Colin Blower won the first of this afternoon's two TBR Tuscan Challenge races that gives him pole position for race 2. Alongside him, John Kent was on the second row, Ian Flux and Martin Short, and it's go!
Away they go. We're looking at Kent there, who comes across, touches Short, and Short loses himself some ground as a result of that. It's alongside Guglielmi, who's leading on him now as they come out of Old Hall. Down the avenue, that's what it was when the trees were there. They go down towards the Cascades, diving down, and it's Blower in the lead once again, David.
So Colin Blower is saying to make it 2 wins out of 2 here at Alton Park, although the championship leader, John Kent, is right up behind him as this huge field of Tuscans pours out of the left-hander of Cascades, now through Island Bend, then to Shell Oil's corner with 88 Martin Short trying to find a way past Ian Flux. This is the view from Short's car. Ahead of them both is Steve Cole. Flux there getting the car rather sideways back on the power. The new, lighter, more powerful AJ-P8 engine under the bonnet, and this is close racing.
Flux pressuring hard, but being pressured. Jason Yeoman's right up there. That's just a piece of paper flying in the air. Nobody touched anybody there. Down the hill. Still Blower in the lead, with quite a respectable lead. Totally different setup on this car now, and it's showing.
In second place, though, John Kent, with everybody else trying to be third at the moment. There, Martin Short, who is in 5th place, making his car very, very wide to fend off Guglielmi. The field then pouring out to Knickerbrook there. Number 2, Rod Breton, a man that's been racing TBRs for a long, long time. An oily, slippery circuit on the way down towards Lodge Corner. Now, are they all going to master the right-hander, Neville?
Well, the Hinkley Motor Trader in the lead by about 4 or 5 cars lengths now. Looks pretty comfortable up there. Very short. He is some way behind now in 5th place, and he's given himself a lot of work to do if he wants to get up with the leaders. Has a look on the inside here. Well, Hall, but he's not really close enough. He'd have done better perhaps to have taken the optimum line, but he's driving a little bit protectively, so I think he's being followed quite closely at the moment.
Steve Guglielmi was trying to find a way past him. Look up front, though. Ian Flux on the inside of Steve Cole. Side by side into Cascades. Cole runs wide. The car gets sideways. And Ian Flux goes through for third. And Short's alongside Cole as well.
Yes, Cole there got himself offline, in trouble, sideways, corrected it, and there's the spin-up.
It's Martin Kraft. Most people have avoided him. Martin Stewart went off in avoidance as well. And I think now that Kent is closing on the race leader, Colin Blower.
Well, Kent's certainly putting in a tremendous effort there as we watch Short. We saw him move up a place there. We saw Cole move down a place, and nobody's quite sure, I think, why Cole let that happen the way it happened. But Guglielmi right behind Cole now. Here's Blower. Kent right behind him, but quite a gap between these two. And 3rd place man. Still Ian Flux in 3rd place, but Flux not making the sort of impression that I'm sure that Ian Flux would like to be making.
Down to Old Hall then, Colin Blower in the lead. The championship leader, John Kent, the Preston Rest Home owner in 2nd place, and Newport Pagnell's Ian Flux is 3rd. Then it's Martin Short, the blue car of Steve Cole, and Steve Guglielmi completing the top 6, with Rod Breton there in number 2, making his way up through the field. Bit of dust being kicked up on the outside of Old Hall, but they have all got through safely. Blower pulling away once again from Kent. Now, is this Blower charging, or has Kent got a problem?
Blower there, steering on the throttle as he came round the left-hander, now round the right-hander, comes out using all the road. The car looks nervous, but it's beautifully under control. Into Fulston's, brakes hard on. Doesn't bang the curbs too hard, and that way doesn't cause the car to slide around a great deal. He's very neat.
He's going to have to be neat as well through the next section of the circuit. The new chicane at Knickerbrook, down into the braking area now. John Kent there trying to close as they come into the right, then left, then right handers of Knickerbrook, with Ian Flux a long way back in a rather lowly 3rd. Martin Short not close enough to challenge in 4th place, with Cole and Guglielmi completing the top 6. There is ex-Rover racer Martin Short, with Cole and Guglielmi behind him.
We're looking at Cole. You see Guglielmi just coming into shot now. Back to the leaders once again. Down through that gearbox. Just feathering the throttle there. On goes the power.
The 1992 TVR Tuscan champion, Colin Blower, comes across the line, still being chased by John Kent. Down to Old Hall they go. They throw the car through the right-hander. A very frustrating situation this for Kent. The car's very evenly matched, but having lost that time over the opening couple of laps, he can't make it back up again. And then Gavin Cooper dives at the inside of Nick Cresswell, going through the corner. Cresswell sideways. Cresswell spins. Are they all going to miss him? I think they did.
Well, Cresswell down the dip. We didn't see what happened, but we can see what's happening here. Lots and lots of pressure on Steve Cole. Guglielmi applying it, but Guglielmi not able to make much ground there. In fact, as they came out of full stance, he lost half a car's length.
Steve Guglielmi tucked right up behind the former Alton Park racing instructor Steve Cole, as there Colin Blower makes his way out of Knickerbrook. Martin Stewart recovering after his involvement with the Martin Kraus incident earlier on. He's got Gavin Cooper behind him. Cooper's car damaged in the first race and sporting bodywork from John Kent's old car, that yellow and blue livery we were familiar with at the start of the season.
This is the last lap. This is Colin Blower. This is number 5 coming up now. Row the left-hander there. Foot hard down. Up to the line. The checkered flag awaits Colin Blower.
2 out of 2 in Cheshire for Colin Blower. He comes home a massive 5.29 seconds ahead of John Kent, racking up yet more points in the championship, with Ian Flux third ahead of Short, Cole and Steve Guglielmi.
In the championship, Kent still on 4.99. Has a tremendous lead now.
The hot weather we're having is playing absolutely into my hands. We've worked long and hard on making a setup on the car that will run from the green light to the checkered flag and maintain a fast lap time. And we've worked really, really hard at doing it. And of course the weather's become so good now. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. I can't believe it. I want this weather to carry on for the next 6 months.
Whatever you're doing with the car is working with your talent as well. Can you keep this form up for the rest of the season?
If the weather stays like this, yes, I see no reason why not. Yes, I have to say, it really is not my fault, it's the car. It really is absolutely first class. It was brilliant.
You're too modest. Congratulations, good victory. Well done, Colin.
Thank you very much.
A very modest winner there, Colin Blower. He really is in cracking form. Now, we're going to take a short break from Alton Park, but don't go away, because when we come back, we'll be featuring motorcycle road racing from the Ulster Grand Prix.
This is the Dundrod Circuit in Northern Ireland. It used to host the Car TT. It now hosts the Ulster Grand Prix. This is the 66th running of this exciting motorcycle race. It's difficult, it's dangerous.
Now desperately trying to make up ground as the field makes its way into the first of these chicanes, with up front number 6 Bob Jackson.
So the field filing through here. This is a true road circuit, don't forget. Unyielding trees, banks and everything else there. We're with our onboard man once again, and Leach trying to make some progress, bending over the bike, looking a little bit. And then if it's the true Joey Dunlop, he'll be off any minute now into the distance.
On board with Tim Leach, perilously close to the bank there as he comes through, and you can see that the
total control, man and machine. That is number 15, who we saw stop earlier on. Alan Owen is a long way behind. Wants to see, and Joey Dunlop wins. Within second place, Robert Holden, Nick Jeffries 30, and Duffers 4th, Steve Ward and James Courtney 6th.
Well, hope you enjoyed that two-wheel action from Ulster. Back here at Alton Park in a moment, we'll be bringing you the National GT Championship. Before that, though, it's our ever-popular Crash of the Week.
In fact, it's crashes of the week this week as we go to Norway to look at the competition to see how far up a tree you can get your Volvo. They used to be crash tested by dummies. Whether these are the same dummies or not, we don't know, but I can't see the Norwegian Green Party taking much approval to all this. Nor do the opposition. With this one parked, an Opel gets hit up the Ascona.
Let me assure you once again, everybody there eventually safe and sound. Well, back here at Alton Park, we are ready for round 7 of the National GT Championship. Brazilian Thomas Erdos, the man on pole. Neville and David are in the commentary box.
Thomas Erdos behind the wheel of the Marcos LM600 on pole position. The Marcos, that car to beat here in Cheshire. Torquil Tarring is alongside him with a De Tomaso Pantera, with Chris Hodgetts and Mark Hales, with John Greasley completing the top 5.
Across the line they come. The man to keep an eye out for is Erdos. Thomas Erdos, who was very, very successful indeed in Formula Renault, then had a Formula 3 career that was punctuated by a huge accident. When he recovered from that, the chance had gone, and he's never really established himself in the area that he should have done, because he's a very good driver indeed. And Hodgetts now having a really good go to take second place there from Torquil Tiring.
Keep an eye also on Richard Austin with the yellow Harrier, the very distinctive pale yellow Harrier, making its way down to Island Bend. The first time Richards raced this car, he went off in qualifying, and we saw behind Hodgetts there John Greasley, the first ever BRDC GT champion, having a look on the inside of Mark Hale's TVR to try and take away fourth place. Erdos leads, second is Tiring, third is Hodgetts, then Hales and Greasley are fourth and fifth.
And Hodgetts finding Tiring very annoying in front of him. Can't get by, desperately trying, and now power might tell on the straight. That Chevrolet engine, developed incidentally by Lotus. Tony Rudd was the man behind that. Trying conclusions with the Ford-powered De Tomaso. Hasn't found a way by as the TVR comes through, and Mark Hale's going very well there in a car that's being developed as the season goes on.
Yes, that TVR Severa now sporting a big rear wing to give it more downforce. It's holding off John Greasley's Porsche. Erdos, Tiring and Hodgetts are the top three. In fact, Hale's pulling away from Greasley. Greasley, if anything now, coming under pressure from the fast-closing yellow Harrier of Richard Austin, the ex-Rover turbo racer. As down to Lodge Corner comes Thomas Erdos, and all the time now, Torquil Tiring's mirrors being filled by the sister Marcos, that of Chris Hodgetts.
Yes, the Marcoses now have a sandwich job on the De Tomaso, but there's no question of the fact that at this point in time they've all closed up a little bit, David.
Hodgetts all over the back there of Torquil Tiring's De Tomaso as they came out of Old Hall. That battle, of course, allowing Thomas Erdos to pull away. Now, Hodgetts not quite close enough there at Cascades to try and find a way past, but De Tomaso runs in a different class from the Marcos. It has a bit more modification, a bit more power, and in a straight line, I think, Neville, that power from the De Tomaso is telling.
I reckon it may be, but I think actually what happened was a slight mistake there on the part of the Tomaso driver, and I reckon that that's where that gap has now opened up between him and Erdos in the lead, but it still hasn't allowed time for clever Chris to find his way by. Hodgetts, who once upon a time, and I'm sure I've said this before, used to be a milkman.
He also was a former BRDC Group C2 sports car champion many years ago, sharing the car with Tim Harvey, and then he's being blocked as they make their way over the hilltop. He couldn't find a way past on the outside of Tiring. The door was closed. Into Knickerbrook they come. Turn right, turn left, turn right again, back on the power, and Hodgetts now a little bit closer through the twisty corners.
Hodgetts also won the British Touring Car Championship in a Toyota. Very competent driver indeed, but you can see that both these two are going to have their work cut out if they're going to do anything about Erdos at all.
Yes, Torquil Tiring must be getting very frustrated by Chris Hodgetts. He can afford to relax a little bit as far as his class is concerned, because no class opposition are around him, but he can't afford to relax now as far as second place overall is concerned, because Hodgetts there not only right up behind him, but having a look on the inside as they came into Lodge Corner.
The Marcos, which ran at Le Mans, Porsche country, and Porsche's really the car to have at Le Mans, but Marcos this year did an exceptionally good job on the return to a circuit that did not race that for many, many years.
John Greasley, ex-rallycrosser, GT champion in this country in 1993, comes down to Lodge Corner. There's Richard Austin in the Harrier, and behind Austin is John Morrison, the man who's the managing director of Lamborghini GB.
And that TVR is in trouble. The TVR has dropped right back. He's behind Morrison now, and I suspect his race has run. Round the corner he goes, on his way up towards the pits. I think that's the end of that as far as Mark is concerned.
Mark in the pits, Marcos in the lead, Thomas Erdos, the driver, lapping Jamie Maserati, who drives a Porsche. Not quite sure why he should do that with a name like Maserati, but he does. And through on the inside there goes Thomas Erdos round the right-hander of Shell Oil's corner. And I think that Torquil Tiring's got closer. And what's happened to Hodgetts? Hodgetts has dropped a long way back now.
Hodgetts has a problem. Hodgetts has a problem. He's dropped a long way back. And Torquil Tiring is a great deal closer to Thomas Erdos than he was. Now, I'm wondering whether all is well with Erdos's car.
Erdos leading still as he comes into Knickerbrook. Don't forget that the two Marcos run in a different class in the championship than the De Tomaso does. And of course, as far as Hodgetts is concerned, it's vital that he scores maximum points in that class in order to make sure he's champion at the end of the season. Now, I wonder whether Erdos is relaxing a little bit, trying to wait for Hodgetts to close up to him.
Well, it all looked right there. Erdos was getting away again from the opposition, and that is the luckless Hodgetts, who is limping round, and you can see he's really got a problem. It's a question of will he get to the finish, not where he'll finish.
Yes, he's got the climb up Clay Hill, the climb up Deer Leap to go. There is Thomas Erdos in the lead in second place, and a vastly closer second place it is too. Thorkild Tiring and Erdos there. Is he moving to one side? It almost looked as though a little light came on and he indicated to pull to one side. Certainly Tiring has gone past him. No matter, the Ditamarso leads. Now what is Thomas Erdos going to do next?
Well, whatever it is, it's not win this race. Erdos has slowed right down. He's lost a lot of ground, and that car too seems to have a problem. Inexplicably, both of the Marcus seem to have some sort of problem that has entered into their lives in the late stage of the race, and it's a limp home as far as Erdos is concerned.
Crawling up towards Fulston's, a rather ignominious end this for the Marcos team, because of course they were dominant at the start of the race, with Thomas Erdos a long way clear of this man, the man that won last year's BRDC GT Championship. Thorkild Tiring swings through Nickabrocki, accelerates now up out of the corner. He makes his way under the footbridge, over the track there, and all the time he must be now thinking, well, where have they gone? They were right with me at the start. What has happened to the Marcos pair?
So there's Erdos's car. He hasn't yet been caught by the equally limping along Chris Hodgetts. Here is the leader, the Great Dane, driven Formula 3, driven at Le Mans, drove for Lotus, you may recall, in the past. Very competent driver, comes up to take the checkered flag. It's another win for Thorkild Tiring and the Ditamarso. And here comes the Marcus Brigade limping in.
Now, Thomas Erdos second, Chris Hodgetts third. They're battling for the lead in the class. Erdos there indicating to the left. Is he going to pull out of the way and let Chris Hodgetts go past? No, Hodgetts lifts off. After you. No, after you, Claude. And they make their way up to the flag behind Thorkild Tiring. Pantera from Marcos with John Greasley fourth, Richard Austin fifth, and John Morrison in sixth.
It's a 19-point lead for Chris Hodgetts over John Morrison. Hales up to third place, Tiring fourth, Greasley, then Chris Marsh.
This is a bit of a special day for me because this is my 60th international race win. So I'm really happy.
You're obviously very hot as well.
Yes, in this version of the Ditamarso, they do not supply the air conditioning. It weighs too much.
Well, congratulations on your 60th win. Well done, Thorkild. Thank you. And a very happy, a very warm driver off to get a cold shower and have a well-earned drink of champagne. Me, I'll just content myself with an ice cream. That's it for this edition of Best of British Motorsport. Look forward to your company soon. From the whole team here at Oulton Park, we wish you goodbye and drive safely.